we're back at the Christian View with popular Christian speaker Kelly Ingram, who is also a mother of an autistic teenager. And thank you for being with us, Kelly, today. Oh, yeah, you're popular. I talked to a lady who just attended one of your seminars where you teach on how to bring up and care for a special needs child, and she said it was very informative and very good. She has a special needs child as well. But I wanted to ask you, because I have heard it said that you're like a Jeff Foxworthy with curves. You're a comedian, and Duck Dynasty in a dress. I think somebody said that about you.
I shaved my beard.
That's good.
Just for today. Y'all's makeup designer person made me do it.
Well, good. Coming down from the hills of
That's
Jasper.
right, girl. I had to clean up.
Well, how important is humor? And just talk a little bit about the blessings that Bradley has brought your family. I'd like to hear about that.
Humor, and as you know, I am a Christian, so I believe in the Bible, and I believe and follow Christ's teachings, Jesus Christ. So in the Bible, which are my favorite things in the world, well, Solomon, God calls him the wisest man of the Bible. That's exactly right. And I seek wisdom because I need it, because I was blonde before. And so I had to offend some of you. So, well, I was blonde about a month ago. So anyway, I did seek out wisdom, and I came across Solomon, and I read a proverb, and it talks about medicine being a salve. Or laughter being a medicine or a salve to the soul.
True.
And so my mindset had to change completely. And when I became a new Christian, that's all I had to hold on to, because nothing got easier when I became a Christian. As a matter of fact, it became harder because I had more I had to look at things differently, because you do. It's automatic. True. So I guess it was just natural to get into humor, because I had to find my situations funny, because the situations that my son sometimes puts us in, for instance, I'll share a quick story with you. Where I live is pretty much the Blair Witch Project. We live on this, little plot of land. Nobody comes up there unless you got a four-wheel drive on a pig trail. So we have all this land ourselves. We have no neighbors. And
That's
Bradley,
a blessing.
It is a blessing, girl, let me tell you. I love people, but sometimes I need a break. So he had come home, those little 24-hour stomach bug things that they get from school. Sometimes they throw up for 24 hours and it's horrid, and then they're done. You can go take them back to school. So he came home, and because of his disability, he doesn't understand when I'm sick, go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. But no, we go right there. So Maytag couldn't get that off, so I had to strip him down to nothing. Of course, he loves being naked more than anything, because he has they have sensory issues, and being naked is most natural. So I stripped him down to nothing, went up to the back of the house, I had to rinse him out, put him into Maytag, and came back around and heard him talking. And so when I rounded the corner and I looked, there was a lady at my front door. Oh, no. And him naked as a jaybird, and him going, "What are you guys doing?" And y'all know those religious people that come to your house and they're giving you a pamphlet, and they're like, "Here they are, yeah, girl." It's a Jehovah's Witnesses girl. And she was standing there.
She wasn't running?
No,
she was
in shock. In shock. Wow. And that boy just sitting there doing this number. Woo! What are you guys doing?
With that, I have to ask, concerning society, you facing society with your child,
yes.
People have issues. Sometimes you think they're mentally handicapped when it comes to understanding the conditions of a child with special needs. And so I'm sure you've had to be an advocate for him, because people will put limitations on your children. So how has it been for you? Have you faced any challenges concerning people's prejudices and, you dealing with him in public and people just kind of, how does that feel, having to deal with that?
It depends on my day.
Okay.
It depends on my mood, okay? Ever since I had my hysterectomy, I got a little meaner. So let me tell you this. We were at Kroger one day, and I got out of my car, and I was walking my boys into the Kroger. And I noticed that there was a car sitting next to us full of teenagers. And they were snapping pictures of him. And they were making fun of him because they had the windows down. Could you be any dumber? And they were snapping pictures and laughing and looking and laughing. My husband, bless his heart, he's a man. He had no idea what was going on. So I said, "Honey, take the boys into the Kroger. I'll be there in a minute. I forgot something." So I turned around and I walked over to the Jeep, and I stuck my head in that little boy's face. I said, "Little man, let me tell you something. You obviously don't have a mama. Because if you did, you wouldn't be acting like this. Please step out of the car and let me show you what your mama should have done to you. Carload of seniors. Carload of seniors.
Yeah.
Well, they cranked up their car and they sped away. It depends on my day. Just depends.
Kelly, I know you said your child was in a self-contained classroom. What about church? What do you do at church? Does he go to a Sunday school class?
We used to go to church. It's funny that you asked that recently. I've had to stop going to church because there is no program. The church usually doesn't tackle this. They usually want to put them in the basement or in a secluded room with a daycare worker that's like, and by the time church is over with, they don't come back. So I went to church for a long, long time. And then he's become so violent. And, when you're sitting there and you're in the spirit and everybody's singing, blessed assurance, and you have this big old naked boy run by, it quenches the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So we have had to stay away from church for a season. It'll be a season. Until he's smoking weed, he can't go back to church.
Let me ask you though, do autistic children live to be 80 years old? I mean, they live a full life?
Well, let me tell you this. It's funny you asked that. Y'all know all that. It's the Lord. It's just a divine appointment today. I met with this woman about 2 weeks ago. I was a speaker at a respite thing for the moms. They had a spa set up, and they got massages and their nails done. And I was the comedian at the event at Sugarloaf Country Club.
Okay.
So it's real fancy, girl. I was not in Jasper anymore. So she came up to me and she said, well, she was the one that put on the event. And she said, the reason why I put on this event, I lost my son. He had autism at 23. And I was like, why? And she said, I think it was the medication.
Oh, God.
He had a massive heart attack.
All this medicine's going to have long-term
Massive heart attack. She walks into his room and he's gone. He's just gone. He didn't suffer, but it was like the sudden death, the instant death at 23 years old.
Why don't you tell the viewers at home in our audience about God showing up in your house?
Well,
I love this.
I was at my wit's end. I was a baby Christian. I became a Christian in May of 2002. And unfortunately, things didn't get easier. They got harder. Had a new infant. He had colic. Everybody knows the pink Malicon drops anywhere. So he was screaming and crying, and Bradley was hitting me and fighting with me, and I just got the baby to sleep, and he woke the baby up. The baby's screaming and crying, and I lost it. I completely lost my mind. So I hit the ground, shook my fist, and said, what is the benefit of serving you? Because right now I don't see any. I don't see any. It's not any easier. It's not any better. I said, can you just give me 10 seconds? I am screaming mad. 10 seconds of normal. And about that moment, the clouds parted from Bradley's face. And he looked at me and he went, hi, Mommy, I love you. And I got my 10 seconds.
That's God.